Okay, welcome back for episode 2. I have been so goddamn ill. So sorry it took a while. My voice is still a bit rough, as you can hear. Carried on looting up the town, doing all the usual rigmarole, and found out that if you're a gnome, you get 2 bowls of soup.
It's best to fill your belly now, while we still can. You're a far cry from such things. But if I fooled you, no. Here, have more. We'll need every bit of...
Pretty cool.
Fair words.
Thank you.
Halsin isn't here. Keep his name off your tongue, lest Tila pierce it.
Obviously resolved the cargo situation, and now it's time to see Nettie after stealing some stuff.
Come. We need to be
Nettie,
quick. This
Nettie overshares, and then, you know, if you just get her to leave the room, you can just, like, rob the whole place. Like, very comprehensively rob the whole place. Risk-free. While she beckons you.
Not because you should all be changing. Take it one step at a time.
There's something in that vessel. Take a closer look.
Yeah, and then we get our first Mind Flayer Parasite specimen for later. And then we level up to 2, or to 3, I should say, which is good. So again, we're gonna go straight into Rogue for this, for the cunning action. Cunning action is amazing. It's possibly got the most overall utility of like any class ability in this game, just in terms of being applicable and useful basically all the time. And then after handling general business, we have this road encounter.
A strange symbol glows, marked on their flesh, and something within you stirs in response.
I'm so
A shiver runs. The injured man locks eyes with you. The parasite writhes in your mind.
Protect.
He's with the... Do you have orders for us? We were reporting to Edwin.
So what we're trying to do here is get these guys to fight the Owlbear.
We know that...
We're looking for fugitives, survivors from that ship that crashed farther west of here. And oil. We managed. I told Edwin not to look in that cave. It was filthy with Owlbear tracks. What?
It's Kip. You're right, sir.
The cave is just ahead.
So it takes no actual persuasion, you just have to find the dialogue option. Because we're going to need all the help we can get. And also, if they happen to perish fighting an Owlbear, we don't have to kill them later in the Goblin camp.
To waste. The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish.
And then obviously, we need every edge, so we're gonna go a bit dark side here and get this tadpole out of this guy's ocular cavity. And then put it in an undisclosed pocket somewhere back there, which is best left to the imagination. And then the magic happens. The holy relic. Gaze upon the majesty of the Salami Spartan. This is the inception of a legend that will make Frodo look like a little bitch as we save the world against far worse odds. Anyway, back to reality. We can't actually fight the Owlbear yet because we're pathetic. So we're going to take this Hill Giant Strength Potion, having done a long rest, so we get the most out of it, because very precious resource at this point. Having snuck that barrel into an opportune place before this fight, I had a little gap in my footage for some reason, and I would have shown it. I think I forgot to record at one point, but this is the next fight. I think nothing's been missed really, other than exploring and looting, which is not interesting. So the plan here is to obviously get the jump on them, make them burn, make them bleed, and then abused the fuck out of this door. This was not an easy fight. This took me a fair number of attempts. I actually, like, I at one point after a few tries I won it, but I did it at such cost in terms of like healing potions and like you know, consumables in general, like grenades and whatnot, that I was like, oh, it's just, that was too, it put me in too weak a position where I was worried about the future fights. So I actually went back and tried to do it more efficiently. This was a bit risky. I raged and then was like, I'm going to walk over the ice to close that door. There was a chance I would have slipped, which is why I raged first, so that at least hopefully I would take damage from something before my turn came back up and I wouldn't lose my rage. But again, a touch risky. This guy falls over, which is very helpful. And this mage burns a turn putting mage armor on, which is, well, ostensibly a good move. But I can't hurt them anyway, so it's kind of just a dead move from them, which is good. Much better than them flinging a spell at me. So we have dipped our salami in fire to make it spicy salami. And we are now obviously going to go for the guy prone on the ground for that sweet, sweet advantage. So we are trying to get the most damage we can out of this salami, both by having it dipped in fire and by having the hill giant strength elixir running, which should be giving us, I believe, +5 modifier. Because we don't have the levels to have enacted my plan to make the salami innately effective yet. Like with our stats, it is and abilities, it is currently almost useless without this strength of elixir running.
This will hurt.
So we're going to reapply the spice and get a tidy crit to finish this first guy off. And get a tidy opportunity attack. This is why using this door is so good, because it makes the AI do dumb stuff. Like eat opportunity attacks, like dash instead of, you know, attacking, and this would have been lovely if we could pick up the mage this early, but we whiffed it. We're getting the shit stabbed out of us. Luckily this rogue seems to miss his sneak attack bow shots pretty often, which is quite surprising given that that is obviously a shot made with advantage. Basically every action, every round here is like bonus action is health potion, and then swing that salami with your main action. But yeah, picking up the mage there, which is a big source of damage, gone. Using our missile snaring gloves whenever we can to mitigate incoming damage. Those gloves are an enormous saving in terms of having to burn health potions, or indeed even if you're burning health potions every turn, making that allow you to keep up with the damage instead of slowly bleeding out. So it's getting a bit sketchy, even with what I just said in the health department here. So we're going to switch it up, break line of sight, close the door, take health potion, and see how the AI responds. One of them is just going to stand there dumbstruck. One of them is going to throw what I believe was an alchemist fire grenade at the door, which did burn us, but we can counteract that pretty easily. We're going to get into the corner and hide, so we're going to force them through the doorway now. This guy runs through and spots, but he had to dash to do it, so no attack. This one dashes clean through, which is nice because we can, at the cost of very little movement, close that door again and then just finish them off, and then repeat the exact same process, except we'll renew our dipped in fire spicy salami status, because that's only a 3-turn thing, so it runs out pretty quick. They both come through this time, so we're going to go for the lower hit point target for pretty much a guaranteed kill, and then set up for an opportunity attack on this one. Though apparently I don't get an opportunity attack. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if your rage ending in some fashion negates your reaction, or if that's just a bug. I couldn't tell you. But they survive with 1 hit point. But we have dash as a bonus action, so easy to get into range and murderate them. And yeah, like I'm going for a more condensed format, so I'm not going to show like all the failures and all of the, you know, because it would just take so long. This game is so long, but that took some doing in that fight. Like I had to try some different strategies out, because at this early stage, there's not a lot of tools in your toolbox, you know. Now we're onto the crypt, or the tomb, whichever you want to call it. These guys are going to get back up, but the beautiful thing about this is you can steal all their shit first. They only get up based on one very specific trigger. So if you thoroughly loot this room first, then you've got nothing to worry about, really. I think you're left with some sort of warrior class guys who don't then have a sword, and some casters who I think can only cast, like, was it Ray of Frost or some basic cantrips. And so my preferred strategy here is to bunker in this room and just set up a grease moat, basically. We're not even going to burn a rage charge here because, you know, I'm trying to get as much bang for my buck out of this strength potion as I can, because it was the only one we had, and it lasts for, you know, until long rest. And we can't get our rage charges back until we long rest. So, you know, any fight where I can avoid raging is going to allow me to keep exploiting the extra damage from this strength potion for longer. Now, it's, you know, just a waiting game for these guys to run up to the grease moat and decide what they're going to do about it. Which invariably is do something stupid or fall over, really. I find myself wondering at moments like this, like, is there something like useful I could be doing ahead of time to prepare here? I just re-dip the salami, you know, renew the salami spice factor, and then yep, immediately falls over. I think it's a deck save. And obviously the temptation is to try to get over there and hit them with advantage while they're on the ground. But if I fall over in the grease, I could end up in more trouble than it's worth. So we're going to let one try and get across the grease, or at least to the edge of it. And all of their friends fare very badly, except for this one guy who saves. And that one just decides to peace out. So I think I remember it this way. This was a long time ago now, but I think I remember being slightly worried that, like, is it a waste for me to burn the grease now, or do I just start hitting them directly? But like, to set this many of them on fire and create this kind of denial area seemed like the right thing to do. It's a lot of collective damage, and their hit point pool is pretty low, so that amount of burning. Yeah, just a bunch of rare frost coming at me. It's really the only threat on the table. Which, while we're not raging, is not, you know, you can't just ignore that. It's like 4 rays of frost coming at you. That's quite a lot of potential damage at this stage of the game. But we can sort of hit this melee guy and duck back around. Or miss them, obviously. That's always an option. As ever, the fire goes out much sooner than I'd hoped it would. Rare Frost, I believe, is just a spell attack, which means it's against your AC. Our AC at this point in the game is 17, which is pretty freaking good for level 3. I mean, like, late game ACs for a tanky character are generally like 20 to 22 or something. So like, 17 at level 3 is pretty great. Yeah, we are also hitting like a truck for our level based on the use of this strength potion. Playing a little bit fast and loose by coming out here, but I wanted to set up that opportunity attack because you're basically doubling your damage output at that point. If you can get next to a spellcaster who's going to try and get away from you before they cast, then yeah, we basically, the melee guy presents no particular threat and is hugely tankier than all of their friends, so basically leapfrogging them and getting into engage with the casters for those opportunity attacks is the way to go. And now it's just this guy, and really it's just going to be a sort of bit of a sort of slugging match. And we're going to dash back into this room because we need to reapply spice to our salami. It's the first one of those throws he's hit in a while. That actually kind of hurt, so... And it also, by making us pot, prevented us from re-dipping the salami.
Even after death.
Which is slightly annoying.
I have a question for thee. What is the worth of a single mortal's life?
Obviously, then it's time to meet Withers, where he quizzes you on...
I am not the same as those thou hast slain.
Metaphysical questions. I remembered at this point that I completely fucking forgot to pick up this goddamn shovel. So, I finally went back round to the front, picked up the shovel, and dug up the treasure that I found in episode 1. And we shall henceforth be able to dig up treasure. Isn't that nice? And then we come up to this this high ground. And I had no idea that you could bump into Raphael here.
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning.
He looks very sickly in this lighting.
What would suit the occasion? The mouse smiled brightly. Then down came the claw. And that? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service.
At the back of the crevice lies a bag enfolded in the chitinous squabbling of spiders. A shiny gold coin pokes from its mouth.
So, yes, atop this hill is a little spider nest which will come in handy.
The creatures clutch the pouch possessively. You have no doubt a spider egg is nestled within.
So obviously, looking at the amazing bonuses I get with my sleight of hand rogue goodness, I'm like, yeah, I got this, right? Got this. DC 50, yeah. Oh, I fucked it up. Okay, fine. Fortunately,
Pincers pierce your flesh, and pain shoots up your arm and across your back.
you can retry this, and the punishment really isn't that big of a deal. So,
At the back of the crevice lies a bag, enfolded in the chitinous squabbling of spiders. A shiny gold coin pokes from its mouth. The spiders scatter, and you stash the bag. Something clinks among the coins.
so yes, we get a spider egg, which will be very useful very soon when fighting the owlbear.
A cluster of spiders scuttle inside the crevice.
And I decide, obviously, I need my revenge on the spiders.
The infuriated spiders pour in all directions like sand. The swarm is coming.
Now, when the narrator said the swarm is coming, I did momentarily get concerned. It's nothing. It's these 4 dinky little 7 hit point spiders, and they do like no damage, really. So it's a little bit of free XP. I mean, it is like 3 XP and 4 spiders, so it's like 12 XP. But at this point in the game, I was like, you know what? I'll take every single point of it I can get. Because until about level 5, the character is sort of fundamentally missing essential pieces that means that it doesn't work without being propped up somehow by potions, elixirs, whatever. So I'm just greedily hoovering up any XP I can get my grubby mitts on.
This crevice is empty.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm just not going to make it. And it's time to have one of our 2 gruel, which I generously called soup earlier.
Owlbear tracks. Its nest must be near.
Because it's effectively just a nice potion.
This is it.
And then I decide, you know what? Maybe we can fuck with this owlbear now. Maybe we're ready.
You feel the...
He let out the worst...
The beast returns the roar.
The worst roar ever. Now the goal here is obviously Operation Meat Shield. We have the primary meat shield, which is these 2 jokers. And we have the secondary meat shield, which is the 4 spiders that will emerge when we yeet the spider egg. So we do a little basic prep here, drop down a candle, make our salami spicy, and then lob this thing straight into the fray. These guys don't do a lot of damage, but they will soak up numerous attacks. I realise at this point that I have somewhat relaxed the rule about, if you're going to throw something, it should preferentially be salami. Because to be honest, like, it just, I don't know, didn't really make sense. So I think it's the only rule I can think of the ones I originally conceived where I sort of ended up ignoring it mostly. I think everything else I've pretty stringently adhered to. Because mainly it would just mean that you just, would burn a load of turns at the starts of fights, just lobbing Salami at stuff before you could lob something like this spider grenade kind of exists in a grey area, right? Whereas like I'm not throwing it like as a weapon intrinsically itself, like for throwing damage, though I did hit the owlbear with it and deal I think 7 damage. But the actual purpose of throwing it is to release the spiders, right? So it's like one of those things where you sort of conceive of a rule before you go on a run, and then you're like, actually it's not, like, it doesn't actually make as much sense as you first thought. And I think the other problem with it is like, I basically almost never use throwing improvised weapons anyway, beyond like one very small bit early on. It's sort of, it adds less challenge, I think, than it does just like admin, like weird admin, that I don't think is that interesting. So kind of ignoring that rule, but everything else I think I've adhered to, including not dipping into Paladin. Yeah, and at this point, this is kind of a bit of a slugging match. It's a shame that I can neither instruct my spiders nor my absolute brainwashed allies here to not hit the baby owlbear. This is basically a 4-way balancing act, this fight, where we're trying to maximize damage on the owlbear mother, minimize damage on the owlbear cub, while also trying to, as closely as we can, synchronize the death of the owlbear mother with the death of preferably the green absolute cultist allies there, just because, you know, it's less faff for me if they're not in the goblin camp later. So yeah, about half health the owlbear mother goes, gets pretty mad. The command halt there on the owlbear cub is pretty useful. At this point, I'm sort of trying to I don't know, it wasn't a very well thought out plan. I was just like, maybe I can shove the owlbear cub further away from these spiders and this guy with the sword, and maybe they'll be a bit safer. It doesn't change the fact that Brinna there just has a massive, like, grudge against this owlbear cub. She keeps casting on it. Fortunately, she's terrible at it. Like, almost all of her spell attacks seem to get saved against. I think it's Sacred Flame, which doesn't do any damage on a save, not even half damage or anything. So, yeah, luckily, are not penalised for having like tiny arms, and can in fact reach to re-dip there without triggering an attack of opportunity. Sacred Flame does in fact land that time, but the cub is in okay shape. So not too worried just yet. The spiders have really done their job here in terms of just soaking up time and attention and chipping away, while the guy with the sword, whose name I don't remember, tanked the owlbear for a good minute. Though I am starting to feel a little bit lonely now with only 2, now 1 spiderling there with me, and I decide it's probably time to bring it closer to the other cultist. I then foolishly get this spider killed by the owlbear cub. I should probably have just parked it there and had it tie up the cub. Now this is where it gets a bit dicey, because I am now just tanking the owlbear mother unassisted. And I kind of want Brinna to go down before the owlbear mother, so I'm sort of trying to figure out how to make that happen. all this time basically just hoping the Owlbear's going to switch target. I'm like, oh, it's made her prone. Surely should be he can multi-attack. She can multi-attack, so it'd be a better... No. Because I believe multi-attack is more effective on a prone target, or gets an extra attack or something. So it's like, oh, the Owlbear mother will surely switch target now to the prone target. But no, it's obsessed with me. So at this point, we're starting to chug just all of the potions. Because we've been quite lucky. A lot of these attacks are missing. I feel like a good round of attacks from that Owlbear mother will just wreck us. So I'm trying to basically get the Owlbear mother into a kind of a one tap state. And it's probably one more attack and it'll probably be there. What's that? 11 hit points she's got. Brynna's starting to get a little bit low because the Owlbear cub is kind of actually kicking her ass. Because she keeps casting Sacred Flame and it keeps failing. 2 damage, yeah. Even when it succeeds, it's kind of miserable damage. So at this point, the Owlbear has shoved us out of engage range anyway, so we can dash. Don't need to burn our bonus action on disengage.
Boots have seen everything.
And we can get a comfortable distance away and hide. And then hopefully Owlbear mother kills Brynna. Yeah, very comfortably. That's a lot of damage. And then Larian weirdness happens. A little bit of sort of glitch in the matrix. And then we can just go for the one tap. My rage is over, but that's unnecessary.
To his dead mother. A single strike will end his suffering.
And because I'm not a fucking monster. But also because they're useful later.
You watch speechless as the cub begins to eat his mother.
We let the Owlbear cub live. Nice little fact. If you take the spear that's lodged in the Owlbear and combine it with the haft that was on the dead body by the roadside, the sort of friend of these 2 cultists, you can make a little spear, which has some nice effects. And it's ultimately totally useless to us because it's a weapon. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, and I will see you in the next one.